Hi friend, Coop and I are back for gate 15. We're in Gemini season and we're gonna do it just like we always do. We start tapping on the side of the hand to do our setup statement. So here we go. Let's see if he's gonna cooperate today. Stick his tail in my armpit. Even though I worry a lot about my problems, I choose to focus on what's positive in my life today. A life can be incredibly ordinary, repetitive in nature, which can lead to a sense of dullness. I think one of my greatest fears is that I'll get locked in a boring rhythm that never changes. So even though I sometimes beat myself up because I do or don't have perfect daily habits, I choose to deeply and completely love and accept and forgive myself. It's so interesting that there are two sides to this coin. On the one hand, I'm afraid of boring rhythm, monotony. And on the other side of the coin, I am desperate for routine. Like that means something about who I am and how disciplined I am. Okay. So we have a little bit of information loaded there in the circuit. You guys know the drill. Grab your water, take a big gulp. Invite your cat back to your lap if you are so inclined. Wish I could get him to tap with his paws. That would be amazing. Someday. This is only his second time, so who knows? All right. Just for today, I'm going to focus on what's positive in my life. I choose to stop worrying about all of my problems. Oh, this is a disaster. Hang on. My water almost went everywhere. Okay. Life can be incredibly ordinary. There is a lot of repetition. One of my greatest fears is that I'll be locked in a boring rhythm. That's never going to change. So I choose to trust cycles that disrupt old patterns. I choose not to beat myself up today because I do or don't have daily habits. I know I'm repressed when I feel empty. This looks like genuine depression, and this shadow can lead to it also. It's fear-based, and it won't really release until I turn to face it, which is what I'm doing right now. In the extreme polar opposite, I look like an extremist, like always on the move, always trying something new, but there's no sense of commitment to anything or anyone. I'm just running from my shadows. There is a deep truth here that I need to embrace. This truth is pretty uncomfortable. It's that life is meaningless. Which means I get to decide the meaning of my life. I make the meaning of my life. I choose to accept the state that I'm in any given moment. I choose to say yes to the dullness when it's dull. Yes to an accepting of the meaninglessness of life sometimes. I'm learning to let resistance go. Turns out I resist everything. Oopsie. So to live totally, I gotta channel the energy of spring. Spring is always growing, always expanding. I choose to flower in many directions all at once. I choose to embrace my own natural rhythms. I honor my own rhythms. Not only that, I choose to explore Earth's natural rhythms. I choose to live as closely to them as I possibly can. Life becomes regenerative when I follow nature's rhythms. I honor myself. I accept each state as it is, trusting in what life brings me. Becoming fluorescent in the process. And so it is. Okay. I had a client once tell me a story of her, she had a 3-year-old at the time. This story's kind of old. And she was teaching him a bedtime routine, right? And so she's putting him to bed and getting, saying goodnight, I love you, sweet dreams, blah, blah, blah. And at some point he turns to her with this like perplexed look on his face. And he's like, so that's it? And she's like, so that's it, what? And he's like, so that's it? Like, we're just gonna get up and do it again tomorrow? And her answer was, yeah, we're gonna get up and we're gonna like brush our teeth and we're gonna do the same shit that we have to do every day. And that can be exciting and it can be really dull at the same time. So it's like, how do we find magic in the moments of monotony? There's a title to a book I love too that an old friend gave me that is along the lines of like, after the ecstasy, the laundry. It's like, we're always trying to marry these two concepts together. How can I find excitement and expansion and glory while I'm doing the fucking laundry, you know, because the laundry has to get done, or I outsource it, which someday, you know, like, we gotta brush our teeth, dude. Like, it's just part of the being a human. And so I loved that that was his 3-year-old's first kind of existential crisis of like, shit, this is it. So I leave you with that fun thought, and cheers. I'll see you in 6 days.